Hello everyone in Happy Time Zones, it's your bird, Avon the Raven, and welcome back to Elden Ring Magic Glintblade only. I've actually changed my mind about something. Let me go fight Radon once, and then we'll see. And he's officially doing Radon things. Whoa. Uh-oh. Okay. That's about the same amount of damage I was doing. So I said I was going to go farm, and I did. 10 whole levels, all of it went into endurance. And my stamina is still only 160. I don't want to continue fighting Radon, really. So I'm going to head back into the Lands Between. We've got Melania and Fire Giant. I mean, I guess I could try Rykard. But I doubt Rykard's actually going to be any easier. I think Rykard might genuinely be impossible just because of how much health he has. At least, unless I seriously change my loadout. Or commit to an extended... like, way extended attempt. Or maybe not. Rykard might actually be more possible than I thought. Oh dear. The whole reason I wanted to do Rykard was for the, oh dear. Oh dear. Ability to parry Malakath. Whoop, mic going off. Hey, Dada. I'm kind of in a bind. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is a challenge run. Renala's hat is just the best right now. Oh, you have no idea. I've already had to use 3 starlight shards. Or, sorry, 5. Uh-oh. This is a regular new game, yes. There is no plus involved here. Holy fucking shit! Okay! Okay! Okay. Not even enough. Not even half of what I need for a level. Nah, that's for Tanith to do. The reason I did that... Well... This challenge run is one where the only thing I'm allowed to use in order to deal damage is that spell I was just using. This is the charged. And this is the regular. I've honestly done pretty well. With Rykard dead, the only shard bearer I have left is Melania. Oh, you know how with melee attacks you have your normal thwack and then the charged heavier thwack? You essentially just hold down the button. It's, to my knowledge, only an Elden Ring thing. Yes and no. The charge does more damage, but it also takes much longer to actually fire off with this spell. Some just have the damage increase. But Magic Glintblade also has the delay increase, which can actually... There's certain times where the charge is helpful and certain times where it's not. I outright needed the charge against Rykard, because even with... So this is my current setup. Blessed Dew is for more... Oh, yes, same usage. If you're going to try a run like this, be careful about what staff you use. Technically speaking, the Lusat staff does a little more. However, I get like 3 or 4 less casts per FP bar, which makes it not worth it.
It's no defeat isn't until then. I suggest I will miss the champion. I always. This perhaps sweet.
Fair enough. Magic is a acquired taste as far as playstyle goes. But yeah, the only shard bearer I have left is Melania. I haven't burned the Erd Tree yet. I still have to fight Fire Giant. And of the DLC, I just have Radon, Midra, Midra's down here, and Bale.
And with everything. Oh, I am the recused. We refused. Oh, great. I am the recused. We refused. Oh, great. I am the recused. Refused.
Yeah, I get that. I'll be completely honest with you. Elden Ring, because it's so big, draws me in less than the Souls trilogy. And Demon Souls. Patches.
Now, crimes. Perhaps a time for now. The demigod be fine, miss. Well, goodbye, my friend.
Alright. Just to finish off Patches' quest, where is Elimer? Yeah. People also seem to be less likely to do gimmick runs with this game.
No matter. Gullible, he makes. Oh, it's the haunt. You're 8 then?
But sooner or later, I'm gonna go through and at least try to beat the game with every one of the starter spells. Like this spell that I'm using here, you can start the game with it if you pick the prisoner class.
What is it? I have no need. I must Oh, allow me some. Our Lord, dear. I wished one day.
So, I have to wonder if... Oh, this one, Magic Glintblade? Yeah, it's definitely a spell you gotta learn to use. What can I do? Ooh, the Slicer. You could technically do a Slicer only run, you just have to run past everything and collect a bunch of runes along the way. Because I believe the slicer is on a scroll you get in a graveyard as you're entering Liurnia. Why do I know that? Or why do I think I know that? What can I do? I don't want to use these, actually. Well, I'm gonna be trying to fight Fire Giant next. I'm not comfortable losing that amount of runes, but at the same time, I don't really want to farm. So I'm trying to think of what I can sell. Actually, at this point, I think I can just sell all of my smithing stones. We've already established that... Well, I'm probably not going to be upgrading anything else at this point. And to my knowledge, smithing stones can't be dropped for people. I'm going to keep the ancient dragon ones, though, just because it feels wrong to sell those. I think that's it. Yeah, that's enough. It does. It really does. Ooh, that's a 2. Okay, yeah. I need more stamina. Because the problem... Yeah. The problem with Radon is I need to block some of his attacks. He is specifically designed... Oh, I forgot to grab your stuff. He is specifically designed around, not allowing you to dodge completely. Roll catch. He's designed around roll catch. So I need to block some of his stuff. The problem then becomes, in order for any gimmick run to work properly, you need the turtle shield. Their gimmick runs require enough of a setup as far as runes go. Or it's not runes. Talismans go. That you need the turtle shield for the extra stamina regeneration. If I take this off, I lose my stamina regeneration. Which means I kind of have to power level stamina at this point, just so that I can block his attacks and still get off one of my own. It's an animation thing. Okay. Because something I've noticed is that if I'm too close when he starts certain animations, if I roll, I'm taking damage no matter what. I'm getting caught. I take less damage in that case if I block. The problem comes when the string of attacks comes at the when the one that I realize I won't be able to dodge is at the start of a combo. I know Fire Giant's possible. Kind of like I know how, numbers-wise, Radon should be possible. Oh dear. However, this is the last boss you want to attempt charged Glintblade with. You get back here. How are you not in phase 2 yet? Thank you. You can get away with some more charged attacks this time, or in phase 2, than you can phase 1. Of course, depth perception is your worst enemy. Uh-oh. Okay. Yep. Let's go! So, you know how every spell has a range? I know there's a grace around here somewhere. The Fire Giant's arena is so big that it can actually be pretty difficult to tell if your spell is going to have enough range to actually connect or not. I have a similar problem with the Four Kings, and that because of the size of the arena, it's hard to tell just how far away, or the Four Kings in the original Dark Souls. It can be hard to tell how far away you are. And because of that, your spells can actually wind up missing quite a bit. Why did I do that?
Back already, no matter.
I'm gonna keep these on hand just in case, but I can sell the arrows. That's what I mean by depth perception being your biggest enemy. Some bosses just have arenas that, aren't the most or long distance friendly because of that. There's like nothing else here to do that with. I don't need soap anymore. I don't need that anymore. These I never use. So you know how in the Lake of Rot, if you're standing in the lake, you wind up covered in red goop? I don't think there's a boss left that really uses straight magic attack. Yes, visual red goop. Well, that red goop makes it so that even when you're out of the Lake of Rot, you're still getting Scarlet Rot buildup. The purpose of the soap is to get rid of the goop. You know what? I never remember to use these. Yeah, it's actually... I can't blame you for not noticing. It's a weird thing to stop and consider. Fair enough. I don't really have time for using that in the middle, considering I have to wait for cast windows. Cast windows are not the same thing as attack windows. I got everything everywhere, right? I believe I got... I believe I killed Fortisax. Yes, I did. Okay. Ainsel River. Okay, I did get Dragonkin Soldier. And now I got Estelle. I'm not doing Electo, I don't care. So here. You don't have to commit to actually doing the Fia ending. The Fia ending is just a variation of the Elden Lord ending. However, I recommend doing Fia's questline completely for one simple reason. Fortisax is actually a pretty good boss. Well, for this run, I've actually committed to Lord of Frenzied Flame. Fair enough. Actually, let's take that off. I don't need that. Alright, time to head to Farah Missoula. This might be a hot take, but my favorite dragon boss of all of From Software's games is, without contest, Dragon God from Demon's Souls. And it's because of the hitboxes. At least with Dragon God, it's a puzzle. You're not supposed to fight him directly. It's a stealth mission. I recommend it. Like, honestly and truly. I played the remake. I don't have access to the original, unfortunately, but when I do get around to, or when I do manage to save up for a gaming PC, I'll probably wind up seeing if I can find it on there. Or, well, on Steam. Because I absolutely adored the remake. And apparently they did not give us... Oh dear. The remake's on PS5, not 3. Fair enough. Yeah, I've got a lot of different runs planned out, so if you're curious about the Demon's Souls remake, I'm going to be doing that sometime soon. A similar challenge run to this one. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm just gonna run because this thing does not give enough runes to be worth it. As cool as Farah Missoula is, I find myself running through it a lot of the time, just because I don't have much reason to be here except the bosses. Let's see if I can get to the next couple of graces. Like, I absolutely love Farah Missoula. However, it is a little late in the game for 100% exploring being worth it, because most of what's here is upgrade materials. And if I'm going to explore a place at my leisure, I'm going to do that on my own time, not when I've got viewers wanting to see me get to the next boss. Okay. Now... I believe it was this way. Yes, alright. This is the closest grace to Godskin Duo. It's the only one that you don't have to run past enemies to get to them. Alright, I actually can do a lot of charged attacks with the duo, so... may as well. Oh dear. Okay, where are they gonna spawn in next? Oh dear. Yeah, Magic Glintblade kind of makes these two a joke. Bye-bye. Should I feel bad about bullying them like that? There's actually some spells that are designed specifically for poise break and the like. Stars of Ruin. If you can charge that and keep them in a loop, that just stays... or it keeps them staggered. It staggers pretty well. Some of the DLC ones have that property too. I think it's the nail. I mean, fair. 2v1 is a little cheap, huh? That's not even the first time I've soloed them with the Magic Glintblade, by the way. I did that on my freaking casual playthrough. That's why I wasn't worried about them. Malekith, on the other hand, is going to be an issue. And I'm a little worried about Plassey. I believe this is where I came from? Yes. Or no? No, it is not. Alright. I don't really have anything to sell. Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, that's not a lot. As long as I don't have to resort to the same strategy I used versus Rykard, I'm fine. Because I can't afford to do that. More than, like, the once. Alright, cool, I can head right here. You gonna come down here? Alright, let's look at this. I need just about 27 to go up. I know that it's an insta-kill. Nice try. You know what? I actually am gonna go over here just to get these runes out of my inventory because I feel so paranoid about losing them. Same thing. Oh, mic going off. That's a unique way of looking at it. Oh, you little... Good riddance. I might have to do this, like, twice. I should swap this out to, or these out to make it go faster. Where is the scorpion charm? There it is. And the scarab. There we go. I'd probably have wound up with all of that anyway. But this makes it go a little faster. Okay, I actually might not have gotten enough had I not done this. Alright, that should be enough though. The Scorpion Charm is great if you can guarantee you're not going to get hit much. Unfortunately, I can never guarantee that I'm not going to get hit much. Alright, back to Faramazula. Ah! We're actually making pretty good time. That's what, 3 bosses in an hour? I messed up. Oh well. Oh dear, I do not want to be in the water. If the birds want to chase me, the birds can chase me, but that's not gonna go as well as they'd hope. Especially because it looks like the dragon does not discriminate. Uh-oh. Oh, mic going off. Alright, so Bernal is kind of mandatory, I think, depending on how that claw works. Come on, I know at least one of you's breathing. There you are. 3 should do it. 3 is overkill. Okay. All right. Accusant Bernal. Actually, the Godfrey icon might be good here. Uh-oh. You're dead. Bye-bye, Bernal. Okay, now we check the Blasphemous Claw to see how that works. I can't tell if that'll do damage. If it does damage, I can't use it. Oh. You don't think it does damage? I hope you're right on that. Oh, thank you for the follow, Keyshawn. I hope you continue to enjoy the stream. I don't exist. Oh boy, that's a beefcake. That was certainly a beefcake. I think that's a corpse. It does 200 damage? Okay. In that case, that means I can't use it. Unfortunate. Thank you for looking that up. I was going to test it and then reload if it, or well, let Malekith kill me and then reload if it did damage. Saves me a step. I don't know. But unfortunately, that makes it unusable for this run. Which means I'm just gonna have to get good at dodging Malekith. That's probably going to be what most of the rest of the stream is. Provided I manage to take out Plassey in a relatively reasonable amount of time. Because there's always the chance that I don't, and the rest of this stream winds up being the Plassey show. Disclaimer, I do not claim to be good at these games. I'm fairly decent with pattern recognition, and, I guess spacing, to some extent. But that does not necessarily mean that I'm good at these games. Alright. Beside the Great Bridge is the best place. Actually, I should take out that sentinel. Just thought about that. This thing is going to be a pain in the butt to run past. So let's just kill it. Yep. Understandable. Yeah, input reading it can be rough. The Godskins are coded to do something similar. I think they actually know when you click the item button. They don't know Flask specifically. That's a little beyond FromSoft's. I don't know if it's skill or desired program, but it's beyond that. I'm going to send this back up. If I win against Plassie, I'm going to be fast traveling out of the arena anyway. And if I don't, I'm going to need the thing. I believe it was here. Yes. And yeah, I do get that. Input reading is terrible. But it is kind of an organic way to make more difficulty. It's definitely more interesting than just adding a bigger health bar. Alright, time for a nap. Why does the banana hat have no collision physics? Okay, Plassie. I do not think I'm going to be able to get too many of these off. Yeah. I get that. Okay, that's not bad damage. Oh, nope. We run from that. Oh, the nuke? Yeah, Plasty likes to pull that out. Alright, where is... There you are. Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops. Alright, where is the Plasty Cloud? Oh shoot, laser beam, laser beam. He's gonna laser beam. Or not. Whoops. Neither do I, honestly. Fuck. I'll admit that the one-shot's a little cheap, but Plasty is, without a doubt, the best boss in the base game, or best dragon boss in the base game. That damage is apparently 1,966. Yeah, not much can survive the laser. I messed up. I shouldn't have tried to go closer. That was on me. Good for you. I am not a tank. I know it's possible to survive that. Might I ask how much later an endgame boss was found? I tend to tackle Plasty after Millennia. Alright. Fair enough. Oh dear. Mic going off. Okay, officially further than I was last time. And now we run. Oh, come on, Plassy. And Placidusax has officially been classified. Yes, I was saving that pun for that specific moment. Alright, that's a level. I don't have a golden foot on me. Silverfoot is items, not runes. That's the only reason. I don't have one. And swapping talismans takes too long for me. Nope, they do two different things. You might have been wasting your silver feet. That sounds wrong. Alright, Malakath. This is going to be hard. I already know that I don't have time to charge in the second phase. So that alone, and the fact that he can one-shot me, is a big problem. Phase 1 might also be an issue because I'll just be trying to get to that to get through that to get to phase 2. We'll see. Alright. Uh-oh. Okay. Why would you do that twice? I'm dead. Okay. See what I mean by I do not have time to charge? Malakath is easily my favorite boss in this game. Just outright. But I don't have time to charged attack. Not in phase 2. Honestly, I'd like Godfrey more if I wasn't salty about phase 2. Not gonna lie. There are, like, no heal windows in phase 2. Uh-oh. 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 Damn it. My fault for thinking I was safe. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I think I got this, so long as he doesn't dodge that. Okay, let's go. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I think I might have actually hit no health at one point and just I-framed it with the freaking flask or something. This is easily the most productive stream I've had in a while. My heart's pounding. I wish there was time to gesture after the Malekith fight, honestly. Malekith is a good enough fight that I think he deserves a gesture.
The rune of death is
Unfortunately, by the time you're done processing that he's dead, this cutscene starts. Yeah. Well, I actually want to kill Gideon, like, quick. Gideon can actually be a problem. I'm not sure how many people actually know this. I know there's a few videos made on the topic, but Gideon actually is stronger the more bosses you've beaten. He can be an absolute terror for a gimmick run like this if you're not careful. So I want to get him out of the way so that I don't have to worry. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know the logistics of that, but I do know that Gideon actually gets new spells depending on what it is you've done up until that point. For example, if I'd fought Melania, which I haven't yet, he'd have Scarlet Ionia. Mic going off.
I knew you'd
TJ, how you doing? I think the grace is over here. Glad to hear that. Oh, I walked right past it. Yeah, I've made a little bit of progress. I have defeated Rykard, which I actually didn't think I was going to manage. Fire Giant. And every boss in Farum Azula, and now Gideon. So that's an okay amount of progress, I think. Especially since we haven't even hit the 2-hour mark yet. I will admit that I'm actually really worried about Radabeast. Or, well, specifically the Radigan portion. Elden Beast is another depth perception check, which is a little annoying. But Radigan can outright parry your spells. Which makes him kind of an issue, actually. Alright. Gonna give Godfrey a few tries, and then I have other bosses to tackle, apparently. Oh, wait. Before I forget. The whole reason... I forgot to mention this earlier, but the whole reason I left the DLC is because I wanted a specific talisman that's only available after you kill Malekith. Oh, hey Negan, how you doing? Damn, looks like the whole gang's here. Well, minus Piku. But I just saw Piku's going live notification, so... TJ, you already said hi. Yeah, that's not even like a third of what I need. Oh, hello, Mrs. Clown. How are you doing? Fair enough. Oh, ads. Fair enough. I'm doing really well, actually. Made quite a bit of progress today. Three, 4, and 5. 5 should do it. I did not see the arrow until it was already in me. Drink. Negan! Yeah, as I was just saying, we've made quite a bit of progress. I decided to leave the DLC for now, because even with the levels I have from the level grinding I did, don't have a ton of stamina. So far today, we've killed Rykard, Fire Giant, Godskin Duo, Plassey, Malekith, and Gideon. Oh, yeah, I have finished the DLC before. But I did... And keep in mind this was pre-nerf Radahn. I had to summon for him. I'm pretty sure I will die if I go down there, so let's go around. Yeah, what I've decided on is when I get back to Radahn, I'll give him an entire second stream of his own. And if I fail that, I'll say fuck it. And I'll go do something, and I'll end the run there. However, I will, in some of my off time, I'm not dedicating every single off hour to fighting Radahn, be recording different attempts at facing him and posting at least some of those attempts to YouTube. Because I think each Radahn fight takes about 5 minutes. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh dear. I could just sneak past these two, but I want the runes. I suppose that's fair. There's not much you don't get runes for. I avoided the ones in Farum Azula, but I think I actually killed all the dragons leading up to Baal. You use strength builds, correct? Yeah, see, you get runes from that. I've never personally done a strength build, but I have done melee builds. Granted, I did also use spirit summons for that. Or for those fights, but... your best bet, honestly, is to stay near the head, if you can. Don't expect to poise break the dragons in this game. Plassey and Bale are kind of special cases. I think I can just wait for my FP to recharge here. But, alright, you've been grinding for 2 hours in Dragon Quest XI. Ooh! Do you have Sylve or Jade yet? Well, actually, do you have Jade yet, specifically? Oh dear. No, I'll take that as a no. Okay, what level are you trying to reach, and what point in the story are you at? You shouldn't need to grind just yet. You will not need to you shouldn't need to grind. And even if... The most efficient way to grind at that point in the game, if you just hit Gallopolis, is to actually do the side quests. We're just going to not fuck with that third one. I just used up, like, so many resources on the first two. We are not messing with the third one. Okay. Of the Dragon Quest XI cast, Serena actually levels the slowest, so she's going to fall behind sooner or later, no matter what you do. Eric and Veronica level the fastest. So you don't have to worry as much about them. At the point in the game you're at, just go do the side quests. Alright, so that's 2 points of stamina. Still better than nothing, though. Yeah, seriously, go do the side quests, because one of them has you fight a rare monster. And the monster in question actually might not even spawn for you for several hours. The other one requires... Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. But, if you go and do the side quests, you won't have to power level at all until you hit, or, well, until you're out on the open ocean, let's say. I went to the wrong Grace. Or, wait, no I didn't. I was intending to go after the gargoyle. I feel dumb. And none taken, Negan. I understand not wanting spoilers, but some side quests in the game do get really grindy just by nature of what they're looking for being rare. So check the side quests. If it says that it's a specific rare variant, odds are you're going to be at it for a while and you won't need to grind, because you'll be grinding just for the quest. Can we go down now? Unfortunately, there's not much you can do about the metal slugs running away until Eric unlocks the rest of his skill tree. Or metal slimes. Not to get too far into it, but against metal enemies, once he unlocks the rest of his skill tree, Eric has one skill that's a guaranteed instant metal slime death. Specifically again... yeah. Eric has the highest DPS in that game. It takes a bit of setup, especially once you start getting into higher levels, but he can one-shot bosses. Well, I say one-shot, but it's more like a two-shot. Veronica has the highest multi-damage, or multi-target damage in the game. However, the spell I'm thinking of, she can only use once unless you prepare. And even then, that preparation requires having a relatively rare item. Well, of course the easiest bosses are going to be the ones where you have immortal party members. Up here. I can hear the gargoyle. I don't know if you respawn. Oh no! Negan! This gargoyle, if you hit it from a distance, actually is not that bad. The problem is that the gargoyle likes to close in. And has like 4 or 5 different methods of doing so. Yep. This is after burning the tree. Well, specifically after beating Malakath. Because you can't, Oh, you little Get closer. Yeah, his phase 2 is definitely, something. I got pretty lucky and I got him in, what, 2 attempts? Is there anything else over here? Does not appear to be the case. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I do not blame anyone for quitting at Malakath. I actually thought he was going to wall this run. I'm still worried about Radigan walling this run, actually. Technically speaking, nothing in the DLC walls the run, because the objective is to beat the game, not 100% the game. However, DLC bosses are a nice bonus. Alright. Oh, actually, wait. Does Korhin despawn? Because I never talked to him. Yeah, he does. He just leaves. Okay, then. Gideon's dead, so there's nothing on that front. I believe I already murked the Dung Eater. Why do I have so many bell bearings? Okay, let's see here. This spell right here is actually really great for breaking poise. It's designed specifically for that. I'm buying these so that if I get someone I can trade across with. Well, so if if a friend of mine decides to pick up this game, we can trade across. Wait, when did Blackguard die? I forgot that I got Blackguard killed. Actually, I think I actually have the Dung Eater ashes. Because I wanted to see if there was... different dialogue from Celavis. Understandable, actually. Malekith's phase 2 is kind of insane. Ah, right, Shabriri. And I never actually went and talked to Nefeli. Not that it really does much. It just gives me something I'm not going to use, but may as well have it. Or not. Whatever. Okay. Uh-oh. Not good. What? I've hit... Uh-oh. I got caught in a corner. Alright, so this is possible. Numbers-wise. Honestly, I'll be satisfied if I can beat Godfrey today. Or Godfrey. Why did I say Godfrey? Ow. Uh-oh. 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 Not good, not good, not good. Whoops. Oh dear. No, I'm dead. Or not. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Why they'll make the scam friend requests. Honestly, I'm not doing that terribly for my first ever, like, not even just gimmick run with this game, but my first ever solo run. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Not good, not good. I don't know if I'm gonna do Melania next or Bale, actually. I'm dead. Or not. come on. Oh, lore? On what? Melania. So, Melania is, or rather was, the Blade of Mikola. It was she who felt, well, put the pieces in place to where Radahn could be killed by a Tarnished. She'd intended to kill him there during the Battle of Aeonia. However, ooh, I think I hit the soft cap for endurance. Thank you for the GGs. Due to the fact that Radahn was actually stronger than her, despite the fact that she was an Empyrean, in other words, a possible candidate to succeed Queen Marika, that was not my first try, that was like my third. But Radahn was too strong to be killed by Scarlet Aeonia. The resulting battle created the Swamp of Aeonia, however, and resulted in Caelid becoming the delightful blighted land that it is today. In fact, Melania, well, I suppose you could say that both Radahn and Melania lost their minds in that conflict. Because Melania, her mind is outright damaged by the Scarlet Rot. We find out something along those lines from Millicent. And Radahn just completely gone. There was nothing left of him but a rotted husk. Melania was so weakened by that battle that she actually had to be carried off by Clean Rot Knight Finlay in order to return to the Halig Tree. I have to wonder if she ever truly loved Mikola or if that was a manipulation. Because we know that Mikola can compel that affection, and Melania, as his twin, would probably be more susceptible to it as opposed to less. I mean, she really does have an interesting moveset. I'm not going to attempt Ride a Beast right now. Radagon alone is going to be a problem. So, I think it's bail time. Okay. You don't necessarily have to kill the dragons leading up to here. Oh dear. It's just extra runes. Ow. Thank you for missing. Genuinely don't know how to avoid that. I dodged. I'm dead. Or not. I hit... I'm dead. There's... I've messed up way too many times. Well, I messed up and got cheated out of my dodges way too many times. Okay. Yeah, I really did get pretty close there, didn't I? Your first time, summon Egon. Bale could be a little tougher to predict that way, but Egon does damage from a range, and his summon sign is actually in the, arena itself, so you don't have to worry about making his health pool bigger. Or making Bale's health pool bigger. I'm also going to say that Black Knife Tiche, if you have the FP for her, is a great summon for this fight. And actually for most of the DLC. How did I... Okay, that's more the performance I'm used to. You get caught in a corner on that attack, you're dead. Alright, so you're like here, foot of the Jagged Peak, or do you have this grace here, the Jagged Peak mountainside? I can run the route quickly with Torrent if you want to know how exactly to get here. Descriptive. This one? Okay. Now, the path isn't exactly well laid out. You have to follow the dragon corpses. And then just follow this. You could technically go down there, but you're more likely to get struck by lightning. And then up again. Through that opening. Wait, if you keep dying to the dragon before here, doesn't that mean that you don't have it yet? Oh, I missed a turn. Yeah, when in doubt, follow the dragon corpses, is pretty much how you get to Bale. And we're here. So yeah, from the Jagged Peak mountainside, you follow the corpses, and if there's no corpses, you just hug the wall. You keep dying. You know you can run past that dragon, right? About where's the map? What do you mean by about where is map? Do you mean where's the map for this area? Because if that's the case, I actually can't answer that question. Crud. Let's see here. I have all of the map areas, so I can't... I can't show you what the icon looks like, but if you hit an area where there is no map, you don't have the map, the entire area will be completely blank except for one icon. Well, one icon that isn't the Grace one. If you go to that one icon, you can pick up the map. Sorry that wasn't more helpful. But generally speaking, if you're entering a new area for the first time and you don't have the map, you'll be able to see an icon on the map. This one? Which map don't you have? Oh, the ancient ruins? Well, let's see if we can't find... I don't mind... We honestly got more progress than I'd intended. So I don't mind running through areas for the sake of helping you guys find stuff. Oh, wait. Actually, I think it might be down here. I think this one is the weird one. Okay, so you want to know how you get down here? Okay. Well, time to retrace steps, because this actually is not the hidden way across, or the area you get to with the hidden way across the river. I think I actually know how to get that, from here. So you go to Morth Ruins. I think I remember this route. Oh! Don't know why I have one of those. She's already dead. But you head over to this pool of water. And behind the Statue of America here, there's that cave. I believe it's through the cave. You go through the cave, and you have that right there. And then you just follow the path that won't get you killed. I get it. I 100% get it. You don't... I actually found this one this time around while looking for scadutree fragments, because there was one on the map around here and I couldn't figure out how to get to it. And then you get... So after you go through there... Yeah, you just take that cave to get here, and then the map should be somewhere around here. Emphasis on somewhere, up there is a forge. I don't think the map pedestal will be... or pedestal, monolith will be glowing. Yeah, you gotta watch out for these fools. Okay. It's somewhere... And I think it's actually relatively close to... Ow! That, Grace. It's just... I'm just either completely missing it, or it's a little further than I think. It is worth coming down here for a couple different reasons, though. First of all, there's a scadutree fragment somewhere in this area. Second, Templetown Ruins actually has a few different things. That's a waterfall. And third, there's okay, so there's a scatter tree fragment around here. There's one of the bear bosses up in here. There's catacombs over here, which I haven't actually done. And there's the forge over here. But the closest grace to get through to over here is in fact Morth Ruins, although you might actually be able to get to it from over here. Let's go check that out. It lacks what, Negan? Oh, it lags. Okay. That might just be a PS3 thing. Because I remember a lot of games on that actually lagging quite a bit. Skyrim being the most notorious. I think I went the wrong way. Oh well. Well, I bought the PS4 version of one of them. Okay, yeah, there's no getting down from over here. You have to go through that cave. I can try with the long-tailed cat talisman, but I don't think that's going to help me. I should definitely find the, lowest point I can possibly go down here. It's not like I have any runes to lose anyway. Yeah, this is death. Do not recommend. What, did you try that? Oh, pardon. But, there's a couple PS3 games I had that I, bought on the PS5. No, you value your life. Fair enough. I'm a little hingeless. But, Darksiders 1 is a PS3 game, technically. I've just bought it for the PS5. Well, on the PS5. I think it's technically a PS4 version. I bought Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning recently. Which, that's probably the single most important game. Oh, fair enough. So, games on the PS3. Well, obviously the first two Dragon Ages. Origins and 2 were both great. I don't think they've been remastered for PS5 or PS4 though, so I can't play them on stream at the moment. So, I say miss, but I still have a PS3, so I can go play them as I will. Darksiders 1 is technically a PS3 game. And you saw me play that. I just bought another copy of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, which that's probably the single most important game of my childhood. So I'm actually very excited to play that, and I will be doing so after I beat Hollow Knight. I can't really miss Inquisition because Dragon Age Inquisition was, we had it on the PS4. Fair enough. I've never played a Mass Effect game. I do miss Oblivion. Honestly, I liked Oblivion a lot. That's been remastered. If we wind up getting it, I'll probably wind up playing it. Just to see how much of my, memory holds true. Oh, the original Nier, actually, I haven't gone back and beaten. I did New Game Plus, never went around and did the true ending, though. I've heard Automata is good, and that they remastered the original as Nier Replicant, although I definitely think that they massacred Kaine. Kaine, her face just looks so weird now. It had a bit of an Uncanny Valley effect in the original, but it was distinctly Kaine. First time I saw the Kaine redesign, I was like, wait, is that Nikki from Love, Nikki? You dropped Automata. Fair enough. The Nier games, if you want the entire story, you have to play through multiple times, so I can understand how that might not be a commitment most would want to put through, or put themselves through. I can 100% understand that. I'm trying to think, what other games did we have on the or do we have on the PS3? There's Skyrim. But I've played Skyrim too much, actually. Which is hilarious because the same thing can somewhat be said about Amalur, but Amalur at least has NPCs that I like to go back and just listen to their whole stories over again and over again. Skyrim, you don't play that for the NPCs, you play that for the glitches, I'm sorry. I cannot play Skyrim normally anymore. My current run, actually, in Skyrim, and I'm playing this in my free time, is a Khajiit that is like lore-accurate cat. I'm just hitting things to death with my claws. I'm trying to think. I never went back and beat the Prince of Persia games, actually. I'll have to see if those are on PlayStation, because I remember actually liking Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. So I'll have to see if they remastered that. There was also one Magic the Gathering game that we had. Oh, they're making the Sands of Time remake? Okay. Yeah, Sands of Time was the only one that I tried. We have the entire trilogy on PS3. I don't know if they made a fourth one, though. Or wait, I think it was a trilogy. I know that we have all the Prince of Persia games that... Okay. I know that we have all the Prince of Persia games that actually came out PS3 era. My dad got all of them on one disc. And yeah, I think that's about it. Most of the PS3 games we have... Hey, if you can get emulator, or if you can get them emulated... I'll be honest, the reason I'm doing PS5 is because, Oh boy. Well, one thing, I literally grew up with PlayStation. And for another... Oh dear. I don't have a PC that I can actually run games off of. Oh dear. Can I get out of your butt crack, please? I was stuck. That was a new one. Honestly, even with the hitboxes, Bale's still fun. You just also wind up with situations like, what killed me last time. I did not just read that. Okay, Dadiani, walk me through that one. Like, let me go try consort once. Yeah, pre-patch consort was horrible. Oh no. I hit dodge. Shoot, I messed up. I have the wrong talisman loadout. I actually like Consort's Phase 1. His Phase 2, however, I think is actually bad because it's designed around roll catch. Of course, I'm doing horribly right now. I'm not going to deny that he's very cinematic. My problem with him stems from the fact that he is designed to make obsolete a core mechanic of the game. As far as I'm concerned, the dodging. A good portion of his attacks you have to block, you cannot just dodge. It's a phase 2 problem. The problem comes with Mikola. It depends entirely on where you're standing. And it's a problem I have with actually quite a few bosses in the DLC. It's that they're designed specifically for shields. And that right there is the problem I'm having with Radon. You have to somehow precision spam dodge. I can try that. However, I've had him actually follow me. Look, I'm not saying that you can't find Radon fun. I certainly find his first phase enjoyable. However, if you design a boss specifically around trivializing a core mechanic of the game, then I'm going to call it a bad boss on principle. Because it's a core mechanic that people have been using through the entire thing. Oh dear. Mid-flask, too. One more attempt and then back to Bale. What? How did... Radon doing Radon things. Okay. So in other words, a similar strategy I used for Malakath for the meteors. Thanks for the tip. I'm not even sure if this is really a hot take, but I think Mikola should have been a separate boss. You were saying about the run sideways? I actually think that making Mikola his own separate boss would have given him quite a bit of content, actually. Imagine he comes out of that gate right after you've killed Radon. How exactly do you think Mikola would have reacted if he'd come out of the gate as you, like, right after you'd killed Radon? I think that could have been interesting. Would he actually care? He'd given up all of his emotions, so probably not. But I'm also not sure if I can see him reacting with cold indifference. Of course, if they did do that... I don't think he would react much either, but I'm not sure if it would really be cold indifference. For one simple reason. Radon was integral to his plans. As far as Mikola was concerned, he needed Radon. And I think that... And you're right, Mikola would probably try to charm us. And I think that would create the, a great potential for, oh dear. I know how to dodge most of Bale's attacks. I'm just... choking. But I think they missed out on a chance to do a sort of moon presence type thing with Mikola. You only fight Moon Presence in Bloodborne if you, collected and used the 3 umbilical cords. I understand why they did that. There'd be no reason to fight. It's because of lords, why. But imagine that you kill Radon and Mikola comes out of the gate. And then if you don't have Mikola's Shattered Great Rune, you fall prey to his charm and you get a whole other ending that's Mikola specific. But if you do have Mikola's Great Rune, like, you get the option to have a whole other ending to the game. A la Dark Souls 2. I'll finish my thought after Bale. after this Bale attempt, because I'm choking hard. And stuttering over my words. Uh-oh. Well, that intersect. Well, that, yeah. So imagine this. You kill Radon, Mikola comes out of the gate, and if you don't have Mikola's Great Rune, which you would have had to find and kill the Scattertree fragment, or avatar, in order to get, you would have gotten access to another ending. Kind of like a Rani ending. Well, actually, no, more similar to the Lord of Frenzied Flame ending, in where you'd have to take some very specific steps to undo it, or to undo your commitment to that ending. Or, it would... If they did do that, it would have to have some kind of unique interaction with Frenzied Flame. True. However, well, actually, no, not necessarily. You'd only have to lock it for if you got an ending. You can kill Ratigan and Elden Beast and not get an ending. You can come back later for a new one. But imagine something like that. Or if you didn't, well, that only applied to when the DLC first came out. At this point, it would be moot. And it's not like FromSoft hasn't done that before with the Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne DLCs. Off topic. Whether or not it impacts an ending, I would have liked actually having DLCs that impact the endings. At this point, Shadow of the Erdtree is great. Don't get me wrong. However, it does not have any impact on the Lands Between whatsoever. Nobody even acknowledges that you've done it. And that's why I've said maybe an ending. That would be a very unique way to tie them. And yeah, I think a Mikola ending would be interesting. If only for how it would be presented. But, as I was saying, but if you have Mikola's Great Rune, instead of that whole scenario, you get a Mikola boss fight. I wish they'd done something like that. That remains to be seen. I mean, best for Mikola simps, definitely. However, the two best endings in the game, objectively, are the Ronnie and the Frenzied Flame endings. Ronnie's ending because it allows the lands between to actually grow and change. And the Frenzied Flame ending because it nips the whole decaying of order in the bud before the lands between become a second Dark Souls. Even then, the game frames Frenzied Flame as a bad ending, so I'd have to put that below Ronnie's ending. But seriously, this entire DLC is supposed to be about Mikola, and yet we got, like, no Mikola content. That's a little weird. Uh-oh. Ooh, stagger! I will take that! Well, you can argue either way for Frenzy. Because in the Frenzied Flame ending, you're killing a world that is nowhere near as far gone as the Dark Souls universe was. However, with all of the Elden Lord endings... Uh-oh. And I do mean all of them. Every single one of the Elden Lord endings has the Greater Will remain the sovereign deity of the Lands Between. Like, the only deity, really. Everything else is framed as a cult. Literally every other god is framed as a cult while the Greater Will is in power. That puts them below Frenzy because there is no real freedom there. I've always been of the mentality of give me freedom or give me death. So for that, for this universe, I'd say Ronnie first, and if you can't go for Ronnie, Frenzied Flame. Because letting the Greater Will continue is... not good. TJ! Alright, I'm gonna try and work the joke into the lore, but what do you want to talk about in terms of lore? Fair enough, fair enough. Let's pick a random item in my inventory then. These trinkets were once Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you, TJ. Silver horn tender. Old currency used by hornscent made by coating spiral horns with silver. These trinkets were once symbolic of society's upper echelons. I mean, we knew that the hornscent were horny, but that's kind of a new level, actually. Oh, what is it, Daddy? So if these were currency... Hold up. So we know that the hornscent were... they worshipped the crucible. The crucible of life. That's why they saw the horns as... Well, yeah, they're covered in horns. I'm well aware of the double meaning there. And that's why I said it. That was me trying to work with the joke redeem. Apparently it was a bad one. But the crucible is why the hornscent... Oh, you've never heard it used. Fair. Fair. Yeah, the suffix Y can be used in a delightful amount of ways that will allow you to make pretty much anything into a descriptor. Anyway, so the hornscent felt themselves above everyone else because of the horns and because of the crucible. So now my question is, where did runes come from? The crucible was pre-Outer Gods. Like pre-Greater Will. The Greater Will did not control anything at that point. It only gained control through America. So my question is, did the Greater Will bring runes to the Lands Between and the Land of Shadow? If they did, or well, if it did, then that would mean... We already knew that the grace was because of the Greater Will. But the runes I actually hadn't considered before. I don't know if I'm just late to the game on that one or what. But the idea that the horn tenders were used as currency and a status symbol makes it seem like runes either aren't native to the Lands Between and the Land of Shadow, or didn't come into play until later. Or, well, weren't considered valuable until later. Both are interesting concepts, and... It also begs the question of why hornscent drop runes. Or are runes only... well, actually, no. They're not only valuable to the Tarnished, because every single merchant, including non-Tarnished merchants, use them. That is the de facto currency of the Lands Between. So why do the hornscent drop runes when they die? either runes were a part of the natural order and just not seen as valuable until the Greater Will took over, or the Greater Will brought runes, and as a result, everything on this planet wound up having runes in their system. In which case, are runes a parasite? I hope that was good enough, because I don't think I can really do too much more lore on that. But anyway, if you're interested in anything I've done up until this point, please check out my YouTube channel. I try to upload stuff same day, and I group my runs by playlist. So if you look up the run name, you should be able to find all of the videos I've done on it. If you're interested in chatting off stream or seeing my announcements, please check out my Discord server. Do note, however, that the server is private, so unless you get a role, which you can get by interacting with Carlbot, you won't be able to see much, and if you don't have a role by Saturday, I will be kicking you off the server. I do also intend on putting announcements on YouTube when I have anything worth announcing. Oh, whoops. Wrong command. If you've made it this far and are curious to see where I go from here, why not drop a follow? It takes but one button press, and you can always change your mind if you decide my content isn't for you. Tomorrow, it's back to Darksiders 3. I honestly don't know how far I'm going to get in that one. Because at this point, the only main game thing I have for Darksiders 3 is endgame. However, you don't come back from endgame. So I have to do other stuff first. I'm going to give the Crucible a few attempts, and I'm definitely going to try and get my hands on enough stuff to upgrade all of my gear up to, at the very least, +9. And finish off the enchantments as well. However, well, I am going to try the Crucible a little bit from start to finish after I've actually refreshed my memory on what enemies are in the damn thing. And after that, or maybe between getting the loot from the Crucible and actually attempting it from the beginning, I'll go do the final boss of the second DLC, or first, I don't know which one came first, and we'll get the Abyssal Armor. I don't know how long those things will take me, but I'm ending the run on whatever part it is where I go into endgame. After Darksiders 3, I'll be playing Darksiders 2, because I did get myself a copy of that finally after years. And I'm curious to see how that still holds up for me, because it's been years since I've been able to play it. No stream this weekend. And Monday and Tuesday, it's back to Hollow Knight. I'm pretty sure I'll be exploring Deep Nest. Might see if I can't find the stupid Mantis Lords first, though, because I still don't know where they are. Like, I know they exist, I just don't know where they are. I think I missed something in the Mantis Village, but we'll see. And Wednesday, it will be back to this run. We're going to... Oh, you can get into Deep Nest without the Mantis Lords. I found a way. I actually have Deep Nest unlocked in like 3 different spots. But Wednesday I'll be picking this run back up, and I'll be continuing Bale. Or actually, what I might end up doing is ping-ponging between Bale and Melania, because I do actually have Melania unlocked. I just haven't gone in her boss room yet. Yeah, yeah, I just didn't find the Mantis Lords, and I went all the way and beat the Hornet fight in Kingdom's Edge and got the King's Brand. I have Shade Cloak, and I still haven't found these stupid things. Like, I went into the Abyss. I have the... yeah. I think I broke Daddy Ani. Yeah, I did stuff way out of order. If you're interested in that, the entire run is on YouTube. I just wandered places. I just found things. I have Isma's Tear and Shape of Un. Let's see, what else did I get? I think I have the Spiral Nail. I think that's what it was. I have the black version of both the dive and the normal projectile spell. I have access to the first Grim fight. And yet I still haven't found the Mantis Lords. I might actually wind up looking up where I missed that, because as hilarious as this is, I would actually like to fight the Mantis Lords. Okay, yeah, it is in the Mantis Village. Yeah, Mimsy was laughing at me, because, she's... like, how did you miss that? She says I missed a lever somewhere, so I'm gonna have to go back through there. Anyway, one moment. I think I'm gonna raid Magnifico today. He's playing a game called The Talos Principle 2. It's a puzzle game. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. That said, happy time zones, everyone. And I hope you all have an excellent day.